Good morning, Washington. How are y'all doing, everybody? It's the 12th of October, 2011. And, yeah, it's kind of a cloudy, rainy day here, but we're doing pretty good. Holding nice and dry here at the DCRTV World Headquarters. As you can see, I want to knock over my tea there. As you can see there, see that thing there? I've been humiliated by a number of my friends. Anyhow, I'll tell you, we were getting a lot of water on the deck there. Part of it was caused by the re-roofing. They re-roofed the building. They didn't put the water diverter bar back up. So anyhow, I bitched and bitched at the condo association. They came out and they caulked around the bottom of the slider there. So they did that. And then they actually went and put a gutter in. So, they do have gutters around most of the buildings, but they didn't have them over the decks for some odd reason. Put a gutter in. And really, it's raining fairly moderate right now, and there's not water pouring off the roof, which is really cool. And then I just thought for a little extra protection, I would buy a little kiddie pool, okay? This was a little blue, I guess about a 3 or 4 foot wide pool. And I got a couple of them, so they're heavy, so because one of them just blows around. And I put them over here, just in that corner where I was getting some of the leaking, just as a little extra protection, kind of using it as a rain shield. So it's keeping that corner there nice and dry. That's where I was getting a lot of the leaking. So we got the caulking, we got the little rain shield, and we got the extra guttering. So I think I'm in pretty good shape, right? But my friend was saying, you bought a kiddie pool? There was only $6 at the Kmart. $6. I was just sitting out front of the Kmart there in Herndon, and I thought, well, yeah, I'm using it as a rain shield. A kiddie pool is a rain shield. You're nuts. Well, okay, it works. And it doesn't look bad, right? I mean, I could be putting a tarp up out there, and it would look awful, and taped up. This is, and you know what? I got 3 little grandnieces and nephews out there in West Virginia, and next spring, if I don't need that anymore, I'll take it out there and give it to them. A kiddie pool for each kid. So it's a win-win situation. All right, folks, just taking a look. We got the radio ratings that came in, just the weeklies. It's technically the first week of October. But you know what? I know. Got to close these things. People are saying, Dave, we can't see your beautiful face. So if I close those things and I turn on the light there, okay? Hi. I'm not going to see my face anyhow. So anyhow, the ratings came out. Okay, they're actually for mid-September, okay? WMAL flipped over to FM. They started an FM relay on the 19th of September, right? That was a Monday. And these ratings run from the 15th to like the 21st, okay? Even though Arbitron calls them the first week of October, they're really the 15th through the 21st. So it's really kind of too early to tell how MAL's doing. But, this is a first little snapshot, okay? This is the money demo. Male, female, 2554 for technically the first week of October, which is really that period in mid-September. WMAL, listen, this is interesting, isn't it? Look at this. Already, barely on the air for 3 days. WMAL FM at 105.9 was actually rated higher than WMAL AM on 630. Now, this is only 3 days worth of broadcasting, but WMAL FM already got higher numbers. But they're not great. 19th in mornings, 22nd in middays, 19th in afternoons, whereas the AM side was 23rd in mornings, 17th in middays, and 24th in afternoons. So, it's still way, way too early to, see whether this move worked well. But, it's certainly an encouraging sign in one sense to see WMAL FM already, as of the first couple days, getting higher ratings than the AM. So, as I said, I've been calling for WMAL to move to FM for a couple of years now, and I'm still waiting on a consulting check from the good folks there at Cumulus, formerly Citadel. I don't know, man. I listened to that morning show on WMAL, and I don't know, man. I really think WMAL is going to be a success. I don't have a problem with the station leaning to the right, but they need to get away from this. I've talked to some folks at MAL. I have talked to them. People call me up and talk to me. And one of the, people over there says, we are a conservative talk station. That's what we are. We're not going to be fair and balanced with what we present. We're a conservative station. And that's well and good. But, if WMAL is going to want to catch WTOP, which is far and away the ratings leader in this market and the revenue leader, they need to position themselves as more of a centrist station in terms of talk. That doesn't mean they can't put Rush Limbaugh on or have Sean Hannity on or, Mary Catherine Spam on, whatever. That's not the question. The question is they need to just not be so much a propaganda arm of the Heritage Foundation, but go more for a more down the middle kind of thing. Now, you can lean to the right or lean to the left, but try at least really make an attempt to present both sides of an issue, okay? I don't know. I'm listening to Brian Wilson today, and he's talking about some guy who built a tree house in Fairfax County. And how the planning and zoning people are getting on his case because the neighbors must be complaining, Well, okay, if it's a little kitty treehouse, maybe with a couple planks, that's one thing. But, Brian says on the show, the guy went out to one of the Home Depots or Lowe's and bought $1,400 worth of lumber for the treehouse. Now, that's a little more than a little kiddie treehouse with a couple planks. When I was a kid, you went around the backyard, you pulled a couple planks of wood, you could find a couple branches, maybe a cardboard box, and you built yourself a treehouse. If your dad's running out and buying $1,400 worth of lumber for a treehouse, that ain't no little kiddie treehouse. And here's Brian Wilson. He's indignant. How dare the Fairfax County Planning and Zoning deny this guy the right to put a $1,400 lumber treehouse? And then he's given a phone number. He's supposed to call and bitch about it. I don't know. I almost feel like how would you like it, Brian, if your neighbor went and bought a tree leaning over your property there in beautiful Montgomery County there and put a $1,400 worth of lumber and built an extension? I don't know, man. Okay, and then the other word, I would like to congratulate Chris Plant over there at WMAL for the use of the word smelly. He's a smelly guy. Everybody's smelly. Everybody who he disagrees with is smelly. Smelly world leaders, smelly demonstrators, smelly, they all smell bad, okay? I don't know, man. This guy is it just says, I'm an idiot. If that's so much, it's like a drinking game. Get out your bottle of vodka and a shot and sit there at 9 o'clock. And every time Chris Plant, the 9 to noon guy on WMAL says smelly, take a shot. You'll be drunk by 9:20. Way drunk. All right, folks. On the other big news, interesting, there's been a lot of talk about people trying to copy WTOP. WTOP has for years been a top station in Washington with a all-news format on FM, a more conversational style than you hear on some of the all-newsers in other cities like KYW in Philly or WINS in New York. So a number of people, including this company called Merlin, have been trying to do that, copy WTOP's success in places like New York City and in Chicago, where they've taken really cool alt-rock stations and blown them up. And now they put this talk format on. And guess what? They're not getting any ratings. That 101.9 in New York and the 101.1 in Chicago have really come out of the gate flat on their asses, basically. And it just shows you the brilliance of WTOP. WTOP is more than just a conversational talk station on FM. WTOP has built a brand and a loyalty there that's way beyond even what maybe some of these other folks think they can do. They've built something intrinsic there with that station, and it's an amazing thing. For somebody just to say, okay, we're going to come on and get an FM signal, and we're going to put conversational news talk on. Hey, even if CBS is thinking about doing that in Washington, sit back a minute and think. What TOP's got is something special. It's a connection to the community, and it took years to build that. And if you're going to do the same thing, whether CBS is going to do that on 107.9 or another frequency here in Washington, or whether Merlin's doing that in New York or Chicago, you got to say to yourself, kick back a minute. TOP was a long time in the forming stage, and it's not something you're going to do overnight. So there. All right, folks, just a quick reminder, 14. 14. 14. No, I'm not talking about the Univision TV station, WFDC here in Washington. I'm talking about DCRTV's 14th anniversary. 2 more days. You can subscribe to DCRTV Plus, which is loaded with really cool stuff. You know, let's just, I'll take you to DCRTV. If you've never been to DCRTV Plus, let's just take a really quick look at DCRTV Plus here, okay? Oh dear, oh my word, oh my goodness. There we are. This is what DCRTV Plus looks like, okay? I give you a whole year of this for $14, but you have to subscribe in the next 2 days. Okay, we got a whole bunch of cool graphics. We got lists of radio stations. We got links to their websites. We got, you know, a whole bunch of memories from Channel 4 and 13 and Channel 9 there, and the Redskins and J.C. Hayward and Hopalong Cassidy and Johnny Holiday on DC1 and WWDC. We've got memories of WMAL and WASH, and we got cool jingles and DC 101 memories and HFS memories and Gordon Peterson and Jim Vance tributes and Howard Stern and Don Geronimo, and we've got Arch Campbell and Johnny Dark and Johnny Holiday and you know, a whole bunch of cool stuff. DC area broadcasting history and more tributes to Walt Starling and radio stations that are great radio stations that are longer around, like WOHN and WEEL and WGTB, and you know, interviews with cool people like Doreen Gensler and Ed Walker, and Washington quarter-century broadcasters' memories and technical specifications and transmitter tours and whole bunch of cool stuff. All there on DCRTV Plus. Okay. It's like a literally a museum on the air. $14 for a whole year of it. $28 for 2 years of it. Okay, the price goes back up to $39 on the 15th. So hit our support page there on DCRTV. It's right. The link's right at the top of the page. Make your donation. Send us a check. Do a PayPal thing, and you're going to have access to this cool thing, which is updated almost daily. Okay, thanks a lot, folks. Thanks for watching DCRTV Dave TV for today. Have a good one, and don't forget to stay tuned. Cut.